Hey everyone. Well, this is my 600-gallon plywood tank. We got a lot of questions about how I built it, certain measurements, how I did the filtration. So today I'll do a little walkthrough on the whole entire build, like how the filtration works, the different chambers of the sump. Well, first of all, this is a 600-gallon plywood tank, reinforced with 2x4s. It measures 8 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 30 inches tall. The sump is 200 gallons, also built out of plywood. I waterproofed the whole thing with fiberglass on all the seams. And then I used the fiberglass resin and I coated the whole inside just so the plywood soaked everything up. After that, I applied multiple coats of Pond Shield, which is a 2-part epoxy that's safe for aquarium fish. And I did maybe 7, 8 coats of that. I wanted to make sure that there was no leaks. All right, before I go into how everything was built, let's see what fish that I keep in here. First of all, you can see, obviously, there's a ton of clown loaches. I got 30 clown loaches in here, ranging from 4 inches to 10 inches. That's my big 10-inch grill, color Patricia. I got 5 thin-barred silver dollars, gold som. I have 4 tiger Oscars, 2 Waru cichlids. This is a 6-banded Distochotis. Kind of chills with the clown loaches most of the time. I have a Nicaraguan cichlid. I have 2 chocolate cichlids in here. This is the smaller of the 2. The other one's hiding somewhere. Oh, there's a female Sylvini. The beautiful colors on this girl. I also have a rainbow shark or a red-tailed shark. Forget which one's which. I always mix up those 2. It's actually pretty chill in this tank. In the back there, you'll see an L75 Parapleco. Under that log right there is an L114 Leopard Cactus. My L190 Royal Pleco always hides behind that log, so I can never get a good picture of it. In the back, it's hard to see, kind of standing on its head, is a 14-inch Lima shovel-nosed catfish. There's also a few more plecos in here, like Blue Phantom. There's a flying cat. There's a regular bristlenose. And I have my Lapradai Basher. He's just chilling in the giant Anubias. Figured you'll love that home. This Anubias I got off a friend, Algae King, Justin. You can find him on Algae King on Instagram. This was one Anubias he had in a 90p. That was part of it. The other half is there. And I stuck another little piece in my little 25-gallon. The lights are off on that tank right now. I do have another small Bisher in here that likes to hide. It's ornate Bisher, smaller, around like 5-6 inches. For the lids on this tank, I'm using these greenhouse roof paneling. It also has latches locking it in, which I installed because the silver arowana I used to have, but he still got out. I ended up finding him on the floor behind the tank one day after work, all dried up. So I'm going to take a break from arowanas for a couple years before I think about grabbing another one. Well, above the tank, I also have a bunch of terrestrial plants helping with nutrient export. Got the Monstera, a few types of pothos, anthurium. I'm going to get a few more plants, not sure what yet. For the scape, I decided to just use a couple big pieces of driftwood. This one here on this side is about 4.5 feet long. This one piece, this is one whole piece here, that's about 4 feet. And there's a couple long branches I put here and going that way. And then I didn't want to use a substrate yet, so I just went with ceramic tiles. Eventually I might add some sand, but it's just a lot easier to keep clean. The stand for the 600 gallon is all built out of 2x4s, and I use some pine boards just to dress up the front, make it look cleaner. Let's take a look at what the sump is looking like. For plumbing, I'm running 2.5-inch overflows, just basic elbows, and I actually stuffed the inside of those elbows with egg crate, so no fish can get sucked up. Well, smaller fish could, but I don't keep any smaller fish in here. They both come down from here and get into the sump. Let's see a view from here. Well, both pipes come down here and here. And then I have a bunch of slices cut in the bottom, and they run on top of polyfill. Under that polyfill is a 25-gallon Rubbermaid tote filled with just miscellaneous media I had laying around. And then between that, I'm running, there's a few layers of sponges. Sorry for the lighting in here, it's not the greatest, but I got a light on this side. Let's see what happens there. This is another 25-gallon tote that I have stuffed with K1 Goldness with a big air pump that's installed behind the tank over there. There's a bunch more sponges. I have about 120 of these cylinders from Higer. A little messy, I gotta clean it up. I haven't cleaned this thing up in the 9 months it's been running. All I do is change the polyfill weekly. But as long as it's working, tank is clear, this doesn't bother me. This chamber was filled with plants, but I recently took it all out to plant my contest tank. So there's a deep sand bed there, so it actually adds a lot more filtration to this tank for space for beneficial bacteria. And I have more sponges. I got 2 J-Bow pumps that are here for the returns. Both of them push 2,600 gallons an hour each, and they run about 81 watts of power. And then here, this is the control for my gyre wave maker. That has a bunch of roots stuck to it right now. But that thing is, I believe it's SP180. Pushes 5,000 gallons an hour. Okay, but the returns, you come up with hoses. Then there's 2 3/4-inch pipes. And they both return from this side of the tank. This tank gets a lot of flow. So in total, it's about 10,000 gallons an hour. Keeps the tank pretty clear, as you can see. Might have some debris floating around, but this tank's due for some maintenance. I also got to clean a bunch of that junk up. Came off the Anubias, but it'll get cleaned soon. My next maintenance session, I'll get that. The sump in total, it holds 200 gallons. It's 86 inches long, 28 inches front to back, and 20 inches tall. I did the same amount of coats of pond armor on that as I did on the actual display tank. On the stand, I have 28 upright 2x4s supporting the actual tank. So this thing's not going to go anywhere. Each 2x4 should hold about 800 pounds, give or take, which is more than enough to support the 600-gallon tank. I'm going to be getting a few fish for this tank, I believe, next weekend off of Gordon from Aquarium Talk TV. I'm going to be getting an L95 pleco, also 3 clown loaches, and a 20-inch fire eel. I've actually been looking for a fire eel for a few months now. I can never find any for sale. And since he has one available, I'm definitely going to get that thing. If you have any questions on the build, let me know. I think a great way to finish this video off is to feed these guys. Here's where I have food. I have some curry sticks, Northfin veggie pellets, Northfin carnivore pellets, Northfin kelp wafers. And then for some reason, this thing's like crack to every fish. I don't know, I feed it to everything. Everybody loves it. Let's see these guys eat. Of course, the Oscars are the first ones up there. Not surprising. Here comes the parapleco. She's not shy. She jumps in there with everybody. She doesn't care. She gets her fair share. I've had her for about 6 years. Alright, if you have any other questions on this whole build, or if I missed something out that you wanted to know, leave a comment. And don't forget, subscribe to the video if you want to see more about this tank, my contest tank, or another tank that I'll be setting up soon. Stay tuned.